All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're ready for an amazing and beautiful Monday morning in sunny Las Vegas, or coming to you live from beautiful and sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. Um, just going to give a second for some people to hop on here. Just actually got off a really good uh, call. So, going to share a few things from that, but also just got a really good topic for today. So, what's up, Andres? What's up, Muhammad? What's up, Julie? What's up, Brandon? What's up, William? What's up, Ishmael? What's up, Carly? What is going on, everybody? Glad to have you. What's up, Mr. Harless just hopped in. What's up, guys? We're going to have a good group today. I know we're going to have a really good group today. What's up, Molly? We had a really good group call this past week, and I just feel like every time we have a really good group call, it always translates over here. So I'm just going to continue to give another second to allow some people to hop on. What's up, Jenny? What's up? I say Ish. What's up, Ishmael? Good to see you, my friend. We got a really good one today, guys. Really good one. Listen, I want to hear from you guys. I feel like I'm not getting enough engagement from y'all. So what's up, John? Thank you. What's up, John Harless? I know some of you are driving to work. I know some of you have things going on. I know it's Monday morning. But guys, hit me up. What's one thing? What's up, Ish? What's one thing? You know what, Ish? I'm so glad to hear that you're ready for the week, my friend. Ishmael's I get to see Ish every month. He works for a company that I get to go and travel to and work with every month. He's amazing. He's like their go-to IT guy. He rocks it. So what's up, Ish? What's up, Andres? I know Andres is going through some frustrations, but he'll get through it because he's a beast. He's a tough guy. And I'll make sure he does. And, that's what I do. So what's up, William? What's up, man? How you doing, buddy? Brandon, what's up, bro? Hit us up in the chat. Muhammad, hit us up in the chat. All right, let's jump into this, guys. Today we're going to be talking about how to never quit what you start ever again. How to never quit what you start ever again. The concept I'm going to share with you today is really important. It's repeatable, it's shareable, and it's understandable. So if you have a team, if you have people that work with you and you just find that they quit in everything that they do, this is going to be really good for you. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the challenge you have when it comes to quitting and why you quit at things in general, why everyone does it, why most people are quitters, the solution to it, most importantly, the process of how to execute that solution, and then, how to execute that solution. So the process, how it's mapped out, and how to execute it, right? We always give the how-tos, but luckily over the past 7 years, I've had the honor of working with lots of people in lots of different industries, including in the wealth industry with businesses, the health industry with fitness, and there's a common reason that everybody quits, okay? Especially in the top 3 categories, health, wealth, and relationships. It's a very simple reason that most people do it. So let's jump right into it. What's the universal problem? What is the universal problem that people have as to why they quit? Number 1, they get intense motivation, right? They go on YouTube and they watch these like super intense motivational stuff. They get really excited to get started, okay? And this can stem from, external motivations like YouTube and speakers and stuff like that. Or it could come from a specific pain or a problem that they have in their life. The doctor says, hey, you have diabetes, or the doctor says, hey, if you don't lose a certain amount of pounds, you're going to die. Or your boss says, hey, if you don't produce, we're going to can you, right? They get this intense motivation to go, like really intense motivation to go. So then they feel like the only way to execute this is to have intense activity. So now they're intensely motivated. So they feel they have to create this intense activity, like insane amounts of activity. right? I need to go to the gym 5 hours every day of the week. I need to eat nothing, no sugar, no anything, no perfectly everything every day, 7 days a week. I need to make 7,000 cold calls a day. I need to catch 25,000 footballs a day. The activity is so intense. So 1, intense motivation. Number 2, intense activity. And number 3, this causes crazy amounts of injuries, fatigue, or just straight burnout. This is where you have people who have, like, they burn the hell out, right? And then what happens, number 4, is they stop the activity altogether. This is why, in simplest terms, people quit. So if you've ever had something that you wanted to do, maybe it was in fitness, or it was at the gym, or your diet, or at work with cold calling, or as a leader, or in the classroom, or on the sports field, right? You have something you want to do, and you get this intense motivation caused by a pain or a problem. You do like intense and crazy amounts of activity, like insane amounts of activity, but then you burn out, or you get injured, or you're fatigued, right? It's just so bad. So what happens? What happens? You stop the activity altogether, and you quit. You stop the activity altogether, and you quit, right? You can have the fastest start, the most potential, and all of the best strategies, but if you stop, you lose. It's plain and simple. You can have the best strategies, the fastest start, the most intensity, but if you stop, you lose. You lose no matter what, right? It's that plain and simple. So this is the biggest challenge and the universal problem that most people have, and why they quit, right? Why they quit. We always talk about the next play, right? So this is the only time, I just want to be very, very clear on this. This is the only time you will ever hear me say, it's not your fault. This is the only time you're going to hear me say this. What do I mean by it's not your fault? Listen, social media, advertising, marketing has made intensity to be king and consistency to mean nothing. Let me repeat that. Social media, the internet, videos, everything that's plugged in front of you, big chains, big corporations have found that intensity sells. Consistency does not sell. You know that, right? Consistency does not sell. Intensity sells. So everything that they're marketing is about intensity, and nothing about consistency. And so in your mind, everything you've ever seen or been pre-programmed subconsciously is about intensity, because this is what sells. And so every time you have something that you set out for that's important to you, that you want to achieve, saving money, getting in good shape, making a lot of money, right? All of these things, you're under this assumption that you need to be intense as hell to do it, and you don't. So let me switch here. So how does it work, right? How does it work? There's 3 scenarios that I'm going to share with you right now that you've never thought of in your life. Literally, you've never thought of before, but 3 really, really important scenarios. Number 1, you're consistent but lack intensity. There's 3 ways to do it, right? So just bear with me. You're either consistent but you lack intensity. There's 2 things, consistency and intensity for all of these. Just bear with me. You are consistent but lack intensity. Okay, number 2, you have intensity but are not consistent. Like, think about this, for example. Think if you brushed your teeth, like, super intense for 2 hours once a week, right? So number 1, you're consistent but lack intensity. Number 2, simply, you have intensity but you lack consistency. And number 3, you are consistent and you have intensity. And see, I shared a video yesterday and I got a bunch of messages, and this is why I love doing it. And I said, consistency is more important than intensity, because it is, okay? However, there's Relentless, and that's creating consistency and doing it with intensity. And you're not going to see that shit anywhere. Nobody talks about that, right? Except for we do. This is Relentless University. This is Relentless Warriors. This is how we roll, all right? So let me share with you the difference. You're consistent but lack intensity produces results. This is the best of the top two, okay? It produces results, but it's much slower. This is the best, slowest option, okay? Step 2, which is intensity over consistency, will produce results quickly. You will get results quickly, followed by the majority of people quitting because it's not sustainable. These are people who go insane. Like, these are the people that come in to our facility or to hop on a Zoom call with one of our coaches, and they're like, I'm so excited. I'm all in. I'm going to do everything. I want to come 75 days a week. It's not even 75 days a week in a week. But this is how they are. Those people never last. Like, we have to either calm them down and then we'll consider working with them, or we just don't even work with them because it's impossible. They just don't understand. Like, they don't get it. And that's on us for not helping them get it. So that's what we're doing this, right? And number 3, which is creating consistency and then intensity, will produce results that are ideal, right? For both our short and long-term lifestyles. This is about creating long-term, short-term, and long-term lifestyles, right? Because I do believe in short-term lifestyles. Everyone's like, it's only long-term. Well, no, you have to also like have some sort of short-term lifestyle and short-term wins in order to execute on the long term. Like, I'm a human being, right? We're all human beings here. That's how it works, right? So consistency, right? The solution starts with consistency over intensity, which was number 1. Richie, you just told me that I need to have both. Yeah, no shit. But you have to start with consistency. The solution starts with consistency over intensity. Okay, so what do I mean by that? It's better to start with a routine that is easy, a routine that is easy, right? That is easy, practical, and enjoyable. Richie, that's not relentless. Yes, it is. Because it's long term. Okay, it might not be this relentless burst in the beginning, but I just shared with you that that doesn't work. Like, we've had enough of a sample size that does not work, okay? It does not work long term unless you're already relentless as hell, okay? Which is probably 1% of the population, which is probably most of the people on here, right? That's live. So it's better to start with a routine that is easy, practical, and enjoyable. Now, this does not mean that you're not going to set like lofty long-term visions, right? But the gains are gradual and incremental, right? In the beginning. Let me be clear, in the beginning, we will add intensity, but right now in the beginning, your number 1 objective is to create consistency. Not create, but be consistent, right? Is to be consistent. So the solution is you start with consistency and you must trust the process. Richie, listen, dude, every time I decide I want to lose weight, every time I want to gain weight, every time I want to save more money, every time I want to make more money in my job or start a business, I'm intense as hell, and that's why you've never finished. So I need you to trust this process with me by starting with consistency and not having intensity. You will have a negative voice, right? You will, if you haven't seen the course on negative voice, I highly recommend it. You will have a negative voice in your head that will fight you on this. There will be a negative voice when you go to the gym and you're only going 3 days a week for 30 minutes and you're going light, right? There will be a voice in your head that will be, dude, you need to be in here longer. You need to be going heavier. You will need to fight this. You will need to think of me in your mind saying consistency in the beginning is more important than intensity. Consistency is more important than intensity, right? And especially if you've been successful in the past, right? If you've had success in the past but then fell off, you're like, all I need to do is go back to that. No, you don't. The reason you fell off is because of that. It's because you came into it intense, right? You're going to feel lack of intensity, not sweating as much, not, tired from making all the calls. Difficulty does not mean that it was helpful. Difficulty does not mean it is helpful. So I need you to remind yourself that short-term intensity does not equal long-term results. Short-term intensity does not equal long-term results. If you get injured, if you burn out, or if you stop, all the progress up to that point is no good. Right? If you burn out, you get injured, or you stop, everything to that, all your intense progress means nothing. It means nothing. It doesn't matter. If you stop, nothing matters. The long-term success at the end of the day and the lifestyle. Let me repeat that. The long-term success and the lifestyle is what you're after. The consistency is the vehicle that will help you get there long-term. Right? So patience is important, but I need you to trust this process. I need you to trust the process. Because if you don't and you let the little voice tell you to be intense, you'll get intense and you'll fall off. That's what everybody does. It's that simple. This isn't like rocket science, right? So why does this work? Why does this work? Because the worst thing you can do is stop. Literally, the worst thing you can do is stop. People always tell you, never quit. Don't do it. Never quit. Go after what you want. And never, ever, ever quit. But the problem with that saying is that then people get on their high horse. They watch a movie like Rudy. Great movie, by the way. And they're so motivated that they go out this intense schedule that's impossible, and then they stop. Your progress tends to compound and accelerate over time. Very simple. Why does this work? Why does consistency over intensity work? Is because your progress tends to compound and accelerate over time. So if you're consistent over time, your progress will compound, and then you can add intensity later because it'll accelerate over time, and boom, you get what you want. And then you create the lifestyle that you want. Your progress tends to compound and accelerate over time. This is why starting with consistency over intensity works. It's really simple. It's really simple. You guys with me? So how to execute consistency. So how do you execute consistency? Right? Like, Richie, I can be consistent. I want to be consistent. I know it's important to be consistent. But how do you execute consistency? Very simple. Instead of choosing the most intense diet, like, you see them, like, most of the fads, they're so intense. They're so complicated. There's so much work, right? Or the most intense exercise routine. Like, this is what most people do. They'll join like a CrossFit gym, or they'll join like a crazy boot camp or a group fitness type gym. Man, just after seeing people make crazy transformations without all that garbage, I'm just so against it now. But instead, they choose the most intense diet with the most intense workout routine, or the most intense financial strategy. And instead of doing that, choose a routine that you can stick to. Even if the routine seems tiny and simple. I need you to ask yourself a question. What can you commit to at this point in your life? That's a question. Whatever area, whatever it is you're trying to create in your long-term success, you have to ask yourself the question, when creating your plan or your routine, your long-term routine, so you could start building habits, right? What can you commit to with certainty at this point in your life? Is it a certain amount of cold calls a day? Is it a certain amount of workouts per week? Is it eating a certain very simple, only eating whole foods, or knocking off all added sugar, or practicing your sport 3 days a week? Or what can you commit to with certainty at this point in your life to be consistent? That's a question you have and must ask yourself. So instead of creating this workout routine where you're going to work out 5 days a week for 2 hours, start with just walking 3 days a week if that's where you are in your life and you've never done it before. Right? What can you do with certainty right now? If you're already running a couple of days a week, what if you switched to sprints and started building muscle? If you're eating horrible, what if we just cut out drinking calories? Find something that you can just simple, that you can commit to with certainty. What if you saved $100 per month instead of trying to save $500, or $50 per month instead of $500? What can you do with certainty that's not going to crush you, that you can create a habit around? What can you do if you're wanting to start a business, right? To focus on the first steps of the business versus hiring people. It's like, doesn't even make sense, right? But that's what people get into. They get crazy with it. And so that's how you execute consistency, by finding something that you can do with certainty in the beginning. Right? Because we already talked about it'll compound and accelerate over time. So in the beginning, it's execute consistently that you can do with certainty. That's how you execute consistency. And when you keep it simple, it stays simple. Then get relentless as fuck. Then get relentless. Then go after what you want. Right? Once you've created consistency, then you can add intensity. Once you've created consistency, that's when you can get relentless as fuck and add intensity to it. Because that's how you take results that you're going to get long-term and you accelerate it by adding intensity. But if you start with intensity and then move to consistency, you're going to screw it all up. You're never going to finish. You're going to quit just like everybody else. You can have both. You can 100% have both. But number one, you got to get consistent. You got to get consistent, then add intensity, and watch your progress excel. You're going to have the little voice in your mind. You're going to have the little voice in your mind that's going to talk you out of it. Got to be intense in the beginning. Got to be intense. You don't need to be consistent. Like, you need to go all out 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, heavy weights, going crazy. Your diet needs to be crazy. When you're at work, you need to cold call 9 hours of the full day, not do anything else. Just go so crazy ham that you quit. And I'm telling you, after talking to so many people and watching the people that come through the door who want intensity first, always fail. They always fail because they quit. They might get short-term results, but in the end, they always fail. Intensity helps you take slightly bigger leaps to get to that goal. That's all it does. But consistency is what creates the long term. You'll get there with consistency, but with consistency and then added intensity, it just excels the process. Shortening the timeline, very simply, and keeping your motivation even higher, because you're going to see the results faster and be like, whoa. But you're going to have to fight the little voice in your head that's telling you to be intense. You're going to have to fight the little voice in your head that's telling you, hey, you got to be intense first. Got to be intense first. Don't worry about consistency. I just need you to go insane levels of intensity right now, and then we'll worry about not quitting later. No. You can't do that. That's why you quit. That's why you quit. Right? So, the consistency challenge, right? Always have a challenge for you every week. I got a challenge for you. I've got a challenge for you. Consistency challenge. I want you to choose one activity you can be consistent in, right? Health, wealth, relationships. Maybe it's going on a date. Maybe every single week. Maybe it's a workout routine. Maybe it's a meals routine. Maybe it's a cold call routine. Maybe it's a practice routine. Maybe it's something around building your business. Maybe, whatever. It doesn't matter. The fact is that you're going to choose one activity you can be consistent with. Okay? So let's say you're wanting to get into fitness because it's simple. You're wanting to get into fitness. You're going to work out 2 days a week, but your workout is going to consist of 5 walks around the block. And you're going to do that for the next 30 days. So number 1, choose one activity, walking. Let's just keep it simple. Number 2 is you're going to create a schedule and a routine every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. And number 3, you're going to make a commitment to execute it for the next 30 days. This is your next play. The consistency challenge is the next play. What are you going to do? Go for 2 walks. How are you going to do it? I'm going to create a routine. I'm going to go for 2 walks around my block, or 2 walks a week for 5 blocks. 5 walks around the block for 2 days a week. And when are you going to do that by? Starting this week for the next 30 days. That's your next play, the what, the how, the when, right? So that's my challenge for you. And of course, as always, you got to take relentless action. Relentless action doesn't mean relentless intensity. Relentless action means just taking action, right? So which is writing that challenge down. It's just writing this challenge down. The what, the how, the when. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? When are you going to do it by? And over the next 30 days. And you should be posting this in the VIP group, right? All of you should be posting this in Relentless University, at least. I want to know, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? When are you going to do it by? If you don't post, then we can't hold you accountable to it. Those of you that have one-on-one accountability, fine, but you should still post in the group for fun, right? So this is the challenge for you, and let's take relentless action. It's going to be an amazing week. It's going to be a week where you start building on consistency instead of just intensity for long-term success. This is going to be the week that's going to change your life. It's going to be the week that's going to change your life, your health, your wealth, your relationships, whatever that looks like to you. So it's Monday morning. I hope you have an amazing, beautiful day. I hope you have an amazing, beautiful week. This week is meant for you. Richie, my week's already starting off with this and that. In the past already. We're moving forward. This is going to be an amazing week. You're going to have an amazing week. Is shit going to go wrong? 100%. Are you going to get back up and focus on the next play? 100%. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? When are you going to do it by? I'll see all of you guys next Monday morning or on the Wednesday group coaching call. I'll see you then.